Hello, y'all. This is Ross Episode here. Yours truly. And who do we have?
We have Julia right here.
Julia. I'll put the Instagram tag right there so y'all can support. You know what I'm saying? So my question is, what are you doing here? I don't know. All right, I'm sorry. All right.
No, that's okay.
No, it
That's
was a joke. No, I don't know. Okay, so my question is, what made you start wanting to photograph and get into the visual arts?
So I feel like the main thing that made me want to start capturing the life around me and the artists around me is just like my own fascination with art itself and seeing people completely enveloped in their creative process. Because, I'm a creative as well. I'm a visual artist. I paint, I write. And so capturing that process in others around me, I just find really inspiring, and I just want to keep doing that and seeing how I can progress and grow through this medium. It's kind of like how it all started, and I've been doing it now since 2019.
2019. So I mean, she been in this shit. Like she been doing this. Like I'm saying, like she came straight from the mud and just got up out of it and was like, let me just get a camera real quick. And just
Exactly.
Go ahead. That's a Crip sign. You're gonna die tomorrow. I'm joking. No.
Sign.
I know it was a joke.
Anyway.
I see you started in like 2019. Okay. Now, I do have an important question about the experience today. Do you see how, when you were walking past like the animals and like the goats and the pig, do you kind of wonder if they're happy to be in there, or they just they slaughtering these animals? Like, which one? I don't know. I hope they're actually just in there just to, saying like attraction, and people walk in, they see the animals.
Yeah.
Does that run through your head sometimes, or?
Yeah, definitely. When I see animals kind of like in a more enclosed space, I feel like I start to wonder if they would rather be freed and in the wilderness and like with their other family members.
Yeah.
But then again, I realized that also the purpose of animal sanctuaries is to to bring animals into more urban kind of landscapes, so people can be in the presence of animals and enjoy being around them. Because in the city, especially in a city like Miami, we don't really get to see goats or pigs or anything as such, and like I think animal sanctuaries altogether have a really great intention of preserving the lives of animals. So I feel like in limited amounts it can be like beneficial for society altogether to have animal sanctuaries. But yeah, it is true that part of like whether the animal or not wants to be held captive. For example, the macaws, they might not want to be in that cage, but they're there probably because just they've been domesticated and they're used to it now, and it's just kind of like what they know, what life has been for them since they were little, or like babies. But yeah, that's a good thought to kind of like reflect on and ponder if the animals are, happy to be there, or if they want to be freed. Yeah, it's my thoughts on the animal sanctuary. What do you think? What do you think the animals here? How do they feel being captive? Do you think they'd rather be freed? Do you think there's any benefit in having a sanctuary in the heart of the city of Miami?
Well, I would say before, when I first came, I saw that just observing how they were looking, as in how big they are, the weight, and I was like, oh yeah, now they being taken care of over here, because they was big, what I'm saying? Like the pig, they was just over here sleeping, and I'm like, oh yeah,
They're fed.
They fed, so they're happy to be here. They're like, oh no, yeah, let us stay in the cage. Yeah, let's giving us food and stuff. Oh hell yeah, we don't have.
Yeah, they're happy.
They're happy. They're happy.
I think
that's to eliminate that conspiracy that was probably made. Delete those Reddit comments that you just posted, by the way. Yeah, right now. Yeah.
Delete it.
There's a lot of. Well, if you guys see the previous clips, go back to the timestamps. You see how I was recording the environment and everything. You see how natural it is, all the plants. Originally, I thought the flowers were real, and then she said, "Nah, they were fake." I was like, "Oh, okay." Technically, they're not fake because they're real. Because if you're touching them, they're not fake. They're real. because they're in like 3D, like
They're 3D.
They're real.
They're
They're real.
not imaginary.
They're not exactly. They're not imaginary. But I doubt that. I doubt you're talking about that. You know, talking about actual flowers. Well, I conjure up another question. Can you ask me your question?
Absolutely. Let's see. What do you think the purpose of the current work that you're doing is, and how far do you see it going? Which direction do you want to take your work in, whether it's video or photo or film? And who's your inspiration behind the films?
That's the question. That's actually an amazing question. Okay. So, the generation or the younger crowd that's younger than me or around my age, and that's now coming up, I would say Gen Alpha. That's the main one that we need to make sure that really gets the message I'm trying to put out. And of course, Gen Z. Now, I'm not just going to limit it to one community and one group of people. Like, there's this trend going around when they say YN, or like, you know, young black people wreaking havoc, but I think that's worldwide in different urbanated communities, you know, because it's only what they see and what they're around. They think, oh, this is how our life should be, you know. It's like they're going to say, oh, I want to be a football player, or I want to do this, or be a rapper, because that's what they see, but they don't see anyone who really has talent or a passion and they can really take it far. Now, the beauty about that is I live in Dade County 305, and I'm talking about the people who appear dangerous, or who are very on the side of not right, as people would say to their opinion. And those people, they dance a lot. Like in parties, they do this. If you're from Dade County, if you know, you know, they do like the stick, the drill, all that type of stuff. It's dope. It's, you know, and I feel like if I really bring it worldwide, you know, I'm talking about like mass media production. I'm saying things like that, they're gonna be like, oh my god, I can probably do something with this. And they don't think it's just something for fun or something that I have to grow out of, you know? You don't have to just, let me go ahead and, you know, I don't know how to explain. It's a lot.
I understand.
Yeah, So, the film I'm making, it's definitely going to show Dade County in a new light, as in, literally, if you look all over TikTok or Instagram, you're going to see New York, Philly, any other state, you're going to see all their integrated neighborhood dances, and it's like worldwide popular. You don't see anyone doing any Dade County. No Broward, no. If you know, you know. So I'm going to bring that out, you know. And I'm going to do it in a story where I can bring up our people and of literally all races and religion, because we're all, you know, if we're in the same place, we're going to follow what we see. So all I'm doing is just bringing out a different light and opportunity for us to literally just grow and monetize our passions and do something different, rather than stay in this system of, you know, it's either 9 to 5 or I rob somebody or I kill somebody, you know. So yeah, that's it. That's why. And my inspiration of starting, my father, he been doing the same thing with he hasn't done it with like filming this. He done it through teaching kids how to read, you know, adults if they couldn't read it. He taught them in 7 days and stuff like that. And it just kept passing on from generation to generation, helping out people. So yeah, that's me. That's my passion. That's why I do it. And in the next, at least, I'm gonna go real big and specific. In the next like 4 months, I might hit like 200k followers, and it's, yeah, that's me though. So y'all stay tuned, and we have the amazing Julie here, you know.
Yeah, so excited to be part of the process.
Yeah, she's about to be like whoever is on set, because like the casting calls out on backstage and stuff. She'll be in the back, like you know, probably directing, you know, the camera work, all that, because I need more people like that, you know. But yeah, that's the plans, you know.
That's inspiring. Yes, thank you for sharing that. I feel like as a creative, it is so important to, you know, keep that vision and to kind of like picture how much your work is going to grow, because when you're first starting off, it can be very discouraging.
Oh yeah.
And, you know, I feel like the typical view that people have in terms of film or photography or media work is like, oh, you need to grow out of that. Like, how are you actually going to, you know, make a living and such?
Exactly.
But it is, you know, our planet and our earth is so abundant and filled with so many opportunities that there is room on this earth for, you know, as many creatives to grow in their passions and to monetize and to produce, all the works that they desire and to grow through it and, serve through their mission and their vision. So yeah, I think it's really important as an artist and creative to stay centered in that like inner vision and inner light that you have, and to keep that flame alight. Yeah, and just being like very active, like have a lot of presence and action towards those things that you want to achieve. Yeah, absolutely. All right, let me think of another question. When you were younger, did you ever think you were going to get into film work? Or was it something more recent for you? Like when you were little, did you ever think like, oh, okay, I'm gonna definitely want to create films? Or did you ever see other filmmakers and you were like, I definitely want to create this and make a career out of it in my future? Or is it more of a recent vision?
Ever since I was 4 years old, 5 years old, I was always it started around that age. And how I grew up, I didn't grow up in a public school environment, none of those. I was more sheltered with my siblings. I was homeschooled. We learned a lot of history that they don't teach in schools, and I grew up in a very spiritual environment. Like, we weren't confined to one religion, so artistry was already there. And on top of that, I was a big fan of Michael Jackson dancing, things like that. Now, thank God that he didn't just throw an iPad in my hand at that age. Even though this is like during the age when like iPad was kind of just like, there was iPads, but like it was not like now.
Much.
It was like, they looked like they were thick as hell, and it was
not the same.
Yeah, I'm talking about the apps were shiny, and Google Play was
Melon vibe, like
none of that. We ain't none of that.
I had Doodle Jump. You remember Doodle Jump?
No, I remember when YouTube.
Fruit Ninja?
Yes.
Yeah, I was on that.
I remember when YouTube used to say YouTube. No, when YouTube used to say YouTube, yeah, all that, yeah.
Yeah.
YouTube Rewind, all that, PewDiePie, all that. Ryan Higa.
Real.
I need to get back to the question she asked though.
Okay,
so what I would do, I would be very creative in action figures, because instead of like technology, he would have different. What was that?
Who peeing up there?
Oh my God! Hey, nature.
Mother Nature. Thank you.
Let's get back to the question, guys. So I would play with a lot of action figures. I would like talk to myself around the house as I'm like in a show. I'll walk around. While young, I'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna kill you." No, you're not. What? And then I would like type stuff. I'll be running on the like walls and stuff, and I always like telling stories. Now, getting a little older, like around 11, 12, I got into dance, like freestyle, different. If you heard of the Lay Twins or Michael Jackson and stuff like that, I would love dancing, and I would love it. But I would have a hat on, like a cap, where you couldn't see my eye because I was so nervous. Like, I couldn't talk to people. My eye contact was horrible. I had social anxiety. I couldn't really connect with others my age, So, but when I could communicate with them is when I was on the stage performing or dance. So they'll be like, "Oh, he's dope." And they come to me, "How did you do?" And I'll be like, "What are you talking about? I didn't do anything." "Oh, no, you just perform." I'm like, "Oh, what is that? Oh, what is that? Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, I was on the stage." I wouldn't say all that, but I would, the anxiety and nervousness. But dancing was an outlet was a gateway to being who I am today. So that's when I was 11 and 12. Now, getting to 14 and 15, I got into animation. And I mainly got into animation only for the storytelling aspect. So when I started learning everything about it, I stopped it immediately, and I'm like, I'm not drawing 300,000 pages just to do this. And I can literally or write 18 books on this whole story, so I can just hire someone to animate. I could draw though, and so yeah, after that I was like, how can I literally tell the story to people? My sister, she got into film school and then Albright College in Pennsylvania, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what, if she can do that, I can do it. But yeah, I can literally convey the stories through film and things like that. And I'm already a dancer and things, and I know people in Dade County who just throw away their talent and want to do gang stuff or no. So when I show them this, it's gonna literally change. It's gonna start in Miami and it's gonna keep going, So yeah. it started at a young age. What about you? What when you grew up? How did you
Right. Well, I feel like growing up in Central America,
Dope.
um, careers in the art world aren't really encouraged all that much because the country is, we know there's a lot of poverty. So growing up, like, at least my family's message was like, you have to get into the best university and get a career in healthcare or something really professional like law where you can really make a living here. And so my life really shifted when I ended up moving to the US, and I feel like whole new pathways and possibilities opened up, and I realized that my creativity is something worth sharing, and there is a possibility there in creating a career for it, whether it's freelancing or working for an agency or working for artists themselves that need photographs for their own projects. So I feel like definitely the opportunities that I thought I would never have opened up since I moved here. So I'm really grateful that I even got to live here in a country where there's more possibilities and opportunities, and there is a lot of openness to a lot of openness to create freely through media and through visual arts and just through all art forms, whether it's dance, poetry, writing, media journalism. There is a lot of doors that are open and awaiting for creatives to step through and lead the way and really express themselves in authentic ways. So I'm grateful for the shifts in my life and grateful that I get to live here, because sometimes I ask myself, if I still lived in Honduras, my hometown, my home country, I'm not entirely sure what I would have ended up doing career-wise. I'm not sure I would have ended up doing photography. I'm sure I would have ended up doing something visual arts related, maybe painting. But I just ask myself that very often. And I just... Oh, okay, thank you. That's a little bit about how my goals and opportunities transformed once I moved here. All right, I think back to the farm. How do you think spaces like this are able to nurture creatives in the city? Like, do you think spaces like farms and animal sanctuaries are serving a greater purpose in terms of inspiring creatives, or not yet? Or rather creating, fostering a home for people that want to feel more grounded in the city? Do you feel it's benefiting the people of Miami?
But I think it could, but it's all about, unfortunately, it's word of mouth and who you know. It's not really put out there through actual different accounts that dedicate pitting the word out through short form content, or actually making sure people see it when they see it in everyday scroll. It's only through, it's only through, I know this person knows this person, they invited me, or my family's in this. It's not, that's why you don't see that many people who are, you know what I'm saying? If you see someone pop out, you're gonna see someone with her with the amazing jewelry and me, because we've been on this. But you're not gonna see no one with you can tell they're not from here, or you can tell they're not used to this. So that's what I think. Yeah, that's the difference. Because if it's a bunch of like-minded people here, nothing's gonna change. But if it's a lot of people from different areas, when they're always, I don't know, I don't want to pit. I don't want to judge people or put them in a box. But if they do things like constantly do nothing but just vape, or I don't know, I don't want to say that's not bad, but I was just if they do things that really don't bring their vibration higher, and they just going through life without even having a passion to do something bigger. And if they're here, I think that's beautiful, because they can see, wait, hold on, I can probably get good at, I don't know, helping with them building the structures here, or they can learn from them by help growing the plants, change different perspectives. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. We should get more people who are not used to this, because it's really gonna make a difference, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna tap in with the. I think we should both do this.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know when she's here or the person who owns this whole event and house.
Right.
But if she's here, I'm gonna try to do like a 60-second pitch in like a normal way and be like, hey, can we be the media? Media wants to really push this message out.
Right.
Imagine.
Yeah.
Hey.
The space would really grow.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's needed for sanctuaries like this to really
Mm-hmm.
bloom and grow in many different ways. So I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, should we do one final question?
One final question.
Okay. Let me just think real quick.
While she's thinking, I'm gonna make you guys uncomfortable and stare at you for a second.
What do you think is like the most important element for true societal development, like in a more artistic direction? Yeah, of course. Let me run it again because I feel like that was pretty vague. Which like element or which element? Hold on, I froze real quick. Wow. Which element do you think is like most needed right now for like the evolution of our earth and society? Like, you think it's like more preservation of nature, more art academies, more charity work? Like, which do you think field we should be prioritizing and focusing on more for like the overall growth and progression of our world right now?
What that ties into is economics. How there's producers and consumers. Honestly, everyone now is, regardless of whatever you are in life, you're always going to be on any social media just scrolling. You know, you're going to scroll and whatever you see, you're going to be into. Like, it's just what it is. So someone has to just take the action to just, you know, like produce whatever any content you can do and just put it on short form. Reason why I say short form so much because unfortunately,
Monetize.
yeah, and
Also,
you're
Our attention span.
attention spans are getting bad now. Is your attention span bad now?
Significantly. I work on it, but it's a constant tug of war between me and my phone. So,
But
yeah.
it's a good thing about that. People who are making those, I won't disclose the amount they're making, but it's a lot.
Making hundreds of thousands. Yeah.
A day. a day.
Yeah,
It's,
daily.
They just crazy. It's crazy, but yeah, that's all right there. That's the element that's going to change.
Yeah.
Taking the action.
What sort of field do you want to focus on and really like doing the most to grow it, you know? Because anything that you set your mind to, you can grow, and where attention goes, like, and energy, like, that's where the growth is. So, yeah, I think that's where the real growth is. So,
Pretty much wraps up this video.
yeah, that was so
Hope y'all got
lovely.
inspired. The camera's dying.
Yeah, thank you for
Yeah.
being so inspiring and interviewing us in this beautiful space, this sanctuary. We're at the Earth and Us farm, so definitely check out the space if you live around here.
You know, if you're in Miami.
Yeah, we'll tag it below, upstairs, to the side, to the, yeah.
I'm gonna stop the camera now.
Yeah, it's
Enjoy-
dying,
yeah,
but enjoy the video.